What's up everyone, I'm GKB and today on Gamers Knows Best, Microsoft has acquired Beam interactive streaming service. I want to share my experiences with it, so let's get into the video. So real quick, if you're new to the channel, we do gaming content, reviews, tech unboxings, the sexiest damn podcast on Tuesday nights, The Console Corner. If you like what you hear, please consider subscribing, we really appreciate it. Okay, so what is Beam? Beam is an interactive streaming service. Now you're probably wondering, interactive? GKB, what are you talking about? Well, I'm glad you asked. What this means is the games that support it, and that's very important, viewers are able to control your movements in game, like reload the weapon, place zombies and such in Minecraft, and even control the characters in first-person shooters like Overwatch. Now, like I said, not all games support this, and you as the streamer have to enable it. I believe it only works on the PC version of the games though. Now the biggest feature that I liked from the stream testing that I did is the low latency. So what does that mean? Well, as you know, in other streaming services there is a delay from the viewer asking the question in the chat to the streamer answering it. It could be upwards of like 30 seconds to a minute depending on a bunch of factors. Well, with Beam using their RTMP base setup, there was literally a 1 to 2 second delay, which is fantastic. Literally everyone in the chat was like, wow. It was like having a conversation on Party Chat with Xbox Live. It was just almost instantaneous. It was the best live streaming experience I've had. Alright, so here we are in Beam at our welcome screen. You will probably see something similar when you have your account and you log in as well. So what we have is a couple of quick start areas. It says, welcome back GKB. Then we have browse, learn more, community. There is a level. We can level up doing this kind of stuff, which is kind of interesting. And we also have a quick menu or quick selection bar as well. We're going to get in that here in a little bit. Real quick before we get into anything else, this is what we were talking about with the interactive streaming. As you can see, a bunch of people are playing Pokemon Emerald. Now there's up, down, left, right, LR, start, select, and AB. Now up here, our little lightning bolt stuff here, they're called sparks. That is a currency. As you can see, is start and select uses 25 per. So every time you hit those buttons, it's going to take that away. So that's how that works. All right, so let's go into browse. Alright, now when you go here, this is where all the streamers are. If you're looking for something in particular, you want to check somebody out, here it is. On the side here we have games, so it's sorted by games, and you can click this to make your selection interactive only games. Alright, so then these are all the streamers on this tab. Then we have rising stars, which are just streamers that I guess are doing well. Then we have new streamers, because they're new. Alright, and then we have stream teams. Now this is just network streamers. As you can see, we have Notorious Network, Vortex Network, just a bunch of streamers coming together to do a little team here. Alright, so let's go into the Learn More tab. Now here's everything that you can find out about Beam. Just a quick overview on this one. Then we have the roadmap. And what's really cool about the roadmap is everything in blue is the stuff they've added to Beam so far. As you can see here, it says available now and coming soon. Now all the purple is the stuff that's coming soon. Now a lot of us were like, when's the Xbox app coming and all that coming? Well, here they are. They're working on it. Console apps. So they're definitely looking into it. So then we have the team tab. These are all the developers that are working on Beam. Alright, and then we have the community tab. Now this is the forums. Here you can go ahead and find questions that people may have asked that you're trying to look for an answer for, or introduce yourself, look up the announcements, maybe have some new updates or something coming out. So this is where you can find that. Alright, let's go ahead and go back to our main page, and if you click on this Beam thing when you're logged in, it will bring you back to your welcome screen. Alright, so let's go ahead and see what your channel would look like. So let's go to channel. And here's what it looks like. You can go ahead and edit. You can say anything you want. You can put whatever game, whatever stream you're doing. It shows you your followers currently, the views you have, who's watching. Nobody's watching because we're not streaming anything. Here's the chat. You have emotes and some other cool stuff. You can even make a poll, show viewers, all that kind of cool stuff. All right, so here's your avatar, what level you are, and what you have linked to this. So you have your Twitter and YouTube. Here's our recent broadcasts. That was the one I did last night. It was a lot of fun. Everybody came out. It was really cool. So we have the share and embed tab, so you can put all these things in whatever you want. Now we're going to go into a tab that is kind of like my critique about Beam altogether is the customization part, and it's lacking a lot. But as we've seen in the previous thing, that they are working on a channel editor to give us more functionality to be able to, you know, change it to whatever we want, hopefully. But you're very limited in the backgrounds. So you can pick whatever background you want, save it, but you can barely see it back there. So I hope they fix some of that stuff. But we'll see. You can go interactive, you know, set up that whole interactive thing. And then you can host a channel, or somebody can host your channel. You guys can get more viewers that way. That's really cool. Twitch has that as well. That's about it. You can edit and put your description. All right, so let's go ahead and go back to the main page. And then we're going to get into how do we customize our page. Well, here's a little thing that we can just click on. And that brings up this. Now, here you can do your general stuff, your stream title, you know, what game you're playing. We can set to 18 plus teen, whatever you want. You can put your description. A lot of streamers have a lot of stuff in here. You can put your rules, whatever, for the channel on there. Here's all your share text. So if you're hosting, this will say that. If somebody's hosting you. Now by default, this is unchecked, the follow announcements. I don't know why it's unchecked. It should be checked default, I would think. But anybody that follows you, this would be the text that comes up. I have it. You're now following the governor. Yeah, so let's go up here. Here's where we can get your stream key and set up a stream. And we'll get in that in here in a little bit. Here is your social thumbnail. This is what everybody will see when you're offline. I just have a simple just placeholder thing. You know, follow us, stay up to date, and links to the other channels and Twitter. Again, here's another. You can change your background. Already went over that. And then here's your VODs. Now these are your videos on demand. Previous streams, they would be on here. You can watch, download, or delete them. Now you only have 14 days if you're not a pro member. If you're a pro member, you have up to 90 days that they would be saved on there. And we'll get into pro here in a minute. All right, so that was customize your page. Let's get into open your dashboard. Now here's just a quick overview of your followers and your level, what your sparks are at. So here we have subscribers. We don't have any subscribers because we're not partnered. We have 32 followers right now. I'm not following anyone currently. Here's our sparks that we can spend on interactive gaming. Here's another setup stream and go pro. Now here's the followers. You get silver, gold, and platinum. So I guess when you get enough, you'll fill that up and you'll continue on. So then let's go ahead and go into the Go Pro tab so we can see what we get. If you want to, you can pay $7.99 a month and you get perks for doing so. You get no ads, you get premium support, which is kind of funny that they have premium support because xshewulfx having some issues with her Beam getting it set up. I know Mooch was having a little bit of trouble as well. And their support is fantastic. Their customer service is spot on. So, I mean, they chatted with her, they fixed everything, and, you know, worked diligently until she was satisfied. So that was fantastic. So it's kind of weird that they would have a premium support. I don't know if they're going to come to your house and fix your computer or whatnot, but still, it's there. You get 2 XP multiplier, early access to the new features, So much like the preview program probably. Premium chat highlights, so you can like change colors and all kinds of stuff. I was talking to some other streamers. So you do get a few other perks, so that's kind of cool. And you can support the Beam development, give them feedback and all that kind of stuff. All right, so let's go back, and now let's go ahead and get into set up your stream. Now you have two options. You have the RTMP option, which is the one that you can just go ahead and use right now. It's stable. And then you have the beta testing, the FTL. Now the FTL is where you get the 200 millisecond, I believe, or latency, which is like instantaneous. But I thought the RTMP was almost instantaneous as well. So I don't know. If you want to use it, go for it. If I did try to use the FTL, or at least try to get it set up, there is another application you have to download. But it wouldn't install for me for some reason. So I'm gonna have to wait on that or uninstall and try it again. I really didn't get to troubleshoot it that much, so there's that. But yeah, you can use the RTMP. You just click on it. It'll give you their stream key and what server you'd be hooking up on. What's really cool though is the setup instructions. Now, you do have to use like OBS, XSplit, or whatever other program that you want to use to stream. I use OBS, so we'll click on that. And in here, it'll give you the same stuff again. It'll even give you a link to download OBS. But showing recommended settings, then this is the cool part. Now, you can set it to 720p or 1080p. So let's go 1080p and let's go 60. Now, if you noticed over here, I'll change it down. See the bit rates and things change. So it's giving you the optimal settings for your OBS to plug in there, so you have the best stream possible. So for 1080p 60, they want us to use H.264 codec. They want us to use between 3200 and 3500 bit rates. 96 for the audio. They want the profile to be very fast, and the advanced settings, they want you to set the tune to 0 latency. For stereo, they want it at 44 kilohertz, and the keyframe interval set to 1 second. So make sure when you do this, all these are set correctly to these settings, so you have the best stream possible. All right, so I thought that was really cool. I was worried about how to set it up, so they helped us out. All right, awesome. So let's go ahead and get into the little menu over here, and we'll talk about this a little bit. Now here's your current level. Now because we're watching this stream right here, you can see that we're earning 2 sparks. I think it's about a minute or so that this will count up, and we'll get 2 more sparks. And you'll also go up in level. So then down under here is the hub. I know this will all look familiar to you because we just went over this stuff. That's why I was saying that this is a quick menu. So you can just go ahead and there. We've been there. Here's our managed channel. We've been there already. Now what we haven't been on is the analytics. For all of you that are all about the numbers, here they are. You can find your followers, your views. It gives you cool little graphs. I do like this interface. It's nice and clean. There's not a whole lot here, so you can't click and do a whole bunch of other things, but at least it gives you something. You can export. So yeah, let's go into the network. Now these are your followed channels and your followers. I want to give all these awesome people a big shout out. I'm going to scroll up and down so everybody can see them. They came out to the stream and subbed, and that was awesome. I really appreciate it. You guys rock. You made it fantastic. I enjoyed the chat. A lot of these people you probably already know. There's the Big Mooch. There's Fox, Predator, Weckless, She-Wolf, Jarhead, Stick, Aru, Greg Coco. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate it. Everybody that I miss, you are awesome as well. All right, so let's go ahead and into the teams. Now, we don't have any teams. We're not networked with anybody. So we're not going to have anything here, but this is where you would find it if you did. Here's the billing tab. Now, if you are a partner, here's where that stuff would be. So your subscriptions, people that's subbing to you, and I believe that's $5.99 when you get to that point. Here's invoices and gifts. And then let's get into the partnership. Here's how you become partnered. And you hit the apply now. Now there is a follower and active viewer stipulation on this. So you need 300 followers and 30 plus active viewers. And you need to be streaming 3 to 5 times a week. So there is some stipulations to do this stuff. But there's that if you're so inclined to do so. And then here is the account with some settings here. Here it shows your avatar, so you can go ahead and put that in there. Email, bio, Twitter and YouTube if you want to link those to this account. And then we can go into account and security. You can change your password, change your username, look, two-factor authentication, and delete the account. If you have any authorized apps, they would be in here, and you can remove their authorization at any point. And then we have notifications, so you can send web notifications, emails, whatever. This is where it would be, or if you want to turn it off. So at the bottom we have contact, devlab, and log out. Well, that's it. That is the basics of Beam, the interactive streaming service. If you all like the video, please smash the crap out of that like button. This is GKB, and to stay up to date on everything we do, please consider subscribing and following us on Twitter. Everything is down in the description below. Thanks for checking out the video. We will see you next time, and as always, take care of your fellow gamers.